Oh, I see. I found it. Okay, here. Okay, Beck, I'm good. All right. Hi, everybody. We're going to start this presentation in a couple minutes. We've got some folks that are at work and are going to join us. We'll probably start the presentation about 3 minutes.
Okay, there we go.
Why, you were going to be Chaz for today?
I was a little nervous for a minute. I was still in the backstage.
So are we all good?
Yes. Chat. Deal. Okay. So let me know when you want me to move people over.
Oh, they're not over yet?
No.
Oh, good, because okay, yeah, move them right over.
Show them
Thank you.
next to backstage. Chat. And just
I think
they're over.
okay, let's try it. Hey, Sally Fox, raise your hand if you can hear me. It's okay. We'll figure it out. Yay, Sally can hear us. Okay, good.
Oh, good.
You're good, Becky.
Thank you.
Thanks, Sally. So we'll get started. Hi, everyone. Kelly Olczak here. Becky and I are running the show today. Chaz is on vacation. It's the blind leading the blind. But we did it.
So far.
So far. It's called job security. So I'm going to get started here. We are going to talk about something that tends to make people cringe, budgeting. But I promise you, this is not going to be a spreadsheet heavy lecture. In fact, we're going to shift the way you think about budgeting entirely. So hopefully by the end of the session, you'll have a little bit clarity on why cash flow is so important. It's not about being restricted or feeling guilty because you don't know your numbers. It's more about being confident. So just to reintroduce ourselves, I'm Kelly Olczak. I am the managing partner of LynnLeigh Company here in the Bushnells Basin. Becky and I are the owners, 100% women-owned registered investment advisor based in the Bushnells Basin. That means we're fiduciaries. We manage the finances of a handful of families in our communities, both here locally and also down in North Carolina. Sally Fox, thank you. I've been a certified financial planner since 2009. I love helping people turn their financial goals into reality. Normally, as I mentioned, our incredible operations manager, Chaz Miller, would be with us, but she's happily on vacation this week. So that means Becky and I are together. Becky's going to be our Vanna White. She'll be moderating today. I really would love to hear from you guys throughout the conversation. So if you have a question, please use the chat function and Becky will remind me to shut up so we can answer your questions. Becky is our dedicated Chief Compliance Officer. Very, very few firms our size have a full-time CCO, and she focuses solely on the compliance and operations of the firm. We are infinitely grateful that Becky does that for us. Her watchful eye helps everything run smoothly. Okay, so there are going to be a couple polls today, and we've helped Becky figure out how to do this. So we're going to launch one now. If you had a name for your top priority day, what would that be? So Beck, if you could launch that, that'd be great. It worked.
Good. Okay, just give a couple more moments.
Yeah, thank you. These questions help us make sure that we're on track. So if you could participate, that would be fantastic. Thank you. Thank you. Do you want to post that so everybody can see the results, Beck?
Sure.
Awesome.
Can you see them?
I can see them.
Excellent.
Everybody can. Okay, this is super helpful. We're going to make you guys feel right on track after this is done. Okay, so let's get going here. So as I mentioned earlier, I am a certified financial planner. And if you're a client of mine, you know that I always lead with planning first. While I was researching this topic, I found out some very interesting information. So there's a survey that the CFP board does, and they asked Americans working with CFP professionals, they found that those that are working with CFPs are more likely to more likely to say they are living comfortably, more likely to say they have an emergency plan and an estate plan, and less likely to feel anxious or conflicted about money. In fact, 78% of folks that work with CFPs have at least 3 months of emergency money. We call that uh-oh money. Compare that to only 54% of unadvised Americans. That's a big gap. And it means that peace of mind during a job loss, a health scare, or market volatility is less worrisome if you do have an uh-oh fund or an emergency market. And more than half of CFP advised clients say they're living comfortably, not just surviving, but comfortable. That's what we want for you. So today's conversation isn't just about numbers and spreadsheet. It's about helping you live the way you want to live your life with less stress, more security, and real clarity about what your money's supposed to do for you. Lastly, now for those of you who know me, you probably remember that I have an undergrad in psychology. I never thought I use it every day. And when I found this paper from Sin, Murphy, and Lamas from 2019, they looked at recent behavioral practices and found that participants who were asked to name their top financial goals, they gave them a list, and the folks in the study looked at the list, and the possibilities were brought, everything from retirement confidence to legacy planning and reducing stress. The result was 26%. Oh, Becky, you don't see the presentation? Oh, hold on, guys. I thought I shared it. Thank you. Please hold. Thanks, Beck. Better?
Yes, perfect. I see it.
Okay, good.
Sorry about that.
You know, let me. Okay. So here are the two slides you missed. So this is the one that said folks that work with a CFP tend to say they're living comfortably. They have an emergency fund. They have an estate plan. They feel less anxious and conflicted about money. 78% of folks that work with an advisor, CFP, I should say, have at least 3 months of uh-oh money. And that's compared to 53% of unadvised folks. And that's where that peace of mind, if you do lose your job, have a health scare or bumpy markets, if you have that extra money, it tends to help you not be so anxious. This is the paper I was just talking about. From a behavioral perspective, when this study shared a list of financial goals, that everything from retirement confidence to legacy planning to reducing stress. When they looked at this list, 26% of their goals changed because of reflection. So we're going to talk a little bit about reflection later. And Becky, you let me know if anybody has a question, okay?
Absolutely.
Okay, so here's what we're going to cover today. When people think about budgeting, they're like, oh my gosh, I have to write things down. One of the things we're going to talk about is why budgeting tends to fail. We're going to help you define what we call your now money, later money, and never money. It's part of our big picture planning framework. How to align your income and expenses without micromanaging or so you can feel more in control. And how structure creates confidence even when markets are noisy and the headlines might be stressful, because we're not having any of that right now, are we? So we'll also work through some of the pieces that we've put together to help you work on this with your advisor or with us or on your own. What we hope to accomplish is give you a clear picture of where your money is going and why it matters. Our now money, later money, and never money strategy, our system, helps you build a plan without feeling boxed in. And it's personal. Everybody's ride is different. So we just are trying to help you build more confidence and have less stress. Okay, so when you hear budgeting, people tend to think cutting back, got to track every dollar, feel like you're doing something wrong. If you don't have a structure, you feel like it's not adding up. And that just doesn't work for most people, especially in retirement. Budgeting is about subtraction. It's about being sustainable. What tends to be missing in most budget is purpose, a sense of what the money is supposed to do. And that's where the now money, later money, and never money framework, that's where this comes into play. So there's this website called the Penny Hoarder, and it ran a survey in 2021 that came back with 44% of Americans use a budget to manage their money, where 56% do not use it at all. And of those people that do not use it at all, people feel out of control, they're worried, they're stressed. So this is one of the reasons why we're really dialing into this. Moving from guessing to knowing replaces that stress and worry with confidence and control. And shockingly, if you're guessing at your expenses, what to spend on food, travel, healthcare, gifts, you're not really planning, you're hoping, and hope is not a strategy. When you know your numbers, you can align your investments and income streams with actual lifestyle needs. Most importantly, you'll feel more confident, less guilt spending money, and knowing leads to control. Budgeting isn't about restriction. It's the bridge between your financial plan and your daily decisions. So for those of you that work with us, you know that we want to know what your spending amount is. You're not going to get in trouble. We want to make sure that your plan aligns with your long-term goals. Pardon me. So cash flow matters no matter how old you are. And running a household is just like running a business. You want more cash in and less cash out. Whether you're working and saving, about to retire, already in retirement, drawing from your accounts, how you manage your cash flow is the biggest predictor of financial success. When your income is flexible, cash flow awareness helps you save more strategically and avoid lifestyle creep. In retirement, it becomes even more essential because overspending can shorten the life of your savings, while underspending means you won't have so much fun. So we really try and help write great permission slips. We'll talk about a client of ours later who just recently was planning a trip to Italy when the market got bumpy, but because we'd done the planning ahead of time, it worked out. They still went. Okay, Beck, so here is the next poll question. Yeah, this is great. Thank you very much for participating. Okay. So we're going to share some really neat documents with you guys because it's all about writing things down. Having a documented budget impacts many things. How long your money's going to last, which type of accounts to take income from, because there are tax implications depending on what bucket you take it from. How you prepare for inflation, healthcare, future expenses. So again, today's not about making you fill out these blanks, but it's helping you understand the purpose of the money that you have. So now let's look at where most budgeting systems fall short. Okay. So when you think about reflecting on expenses, like where do you start? We're going to help you build a structure to move you from reflection to clarity. At LynnLeigh, we found that people don't necessarily need more spreadsheets. They need a way to see their money through lenses of purpose. I like to tell our clients, if I don't know what the money is supposed to do, if I don't know what it's for, how on earth can I give you good advice? But also, how on earth can I invest it appropriately for you? So that's why this simple framework is very helpful. One that helps our folks see how their money supports their life in real time, not just in theory. And that's where the now money, later money, and never money comes in. Any questions so far? Okay.
No
So now money. When you start thinking about your finances through these three lenses, everything will click. You don't have to micromanage. You just need to know what each dollar is meant to do. So budgeting isn't about what you're allowed to spend. Budgeting is, where does every penny live? So in the now money bucket, okay? So this is your uh-oh bucket. This is your, I need, 3 to 6 months of living expenses. Some people want more than that. It could also be a vacation bucket. It could be like we've got a client who is saving for a down payment on a house, and she knows she wants to do that in about 3 years. So when we talk about the now money bucket, we're also talking about what kind of investments the now money bucket is going to be in. So your checking account, your savings account, maybe a CD or money market. The investment is not bumpy. It's boring. We've had clients like, we've got all this cash sitting in a money market account and it's not doing as much as I'd like it to do. But the goal of that money is, Melissa, you're saving for this down payment in three years. You can't take a lot of risk on that money. So now money is boring and it's supposed to be reliable. So the next bucket is later money. So depending on how old you are or where you are in life, you're always going to have a later bucket. That money is long-term money. That money is in your IRA. It's in a 401k, a 403b, or a Roth. It could also be in a long-term investing account. So what does that mean? I've got folks that have fully funded their 401ks or their IRAs and Roths, and they have extra money. And so they're investing it in a brokerage account, which is in stocks, bonds, mutual funds, money market. But the goal of that money is longer than 5 years. And it's got to last longer than 5 years. It's long-term money. So we call that later money. Then the third bucket is called never money. And this is a bit squishy because it's similarly invested, but the goal of this money might be for giving to maybe Lollipop Farm, maybe a museum. It could be money you've earmarked for your grandkids. It could also be earmarked for potential long-term care needs if you needed it. When you know what each dollar is supposed to do, then that budgeting becomes very simple, even liberating. Questions on the now money, later money, or never money?
None so far.
Okay. So I like explaining these scenarios by telling stories. So we're going to talk about two people. And if you were with us last month, we spoke about these folks, but these are real life examples. So we're going to revisit Jamie and Ann. And last month we spoke about their experience when the markets got really bumpy and how they behaved in the market because of that. This month, we're going to talk about how cash flow played a major part in their outcomes. So here's Jamie. He is a great example of how good investment management doesn't always mean good financial planning. So Jamie doesn't work with us. He does work with a nationally branded firm that advertises that they are fiduciaries. They manage his investments, and that's all. However, they never asked Jamie about what the investments are supposed to do for him. He doesn't have a plan. So he doesn't know what his retirement savings, all of his money, short-term and long-term money, is supposed to do. Because of this, when the markets got really bumpy last month and the month before, he hasn't done the work to really understand his spending. He assumed that his retirement lifestyle would cost him about the same amount as his current one. When he finally ran the numbers, he found his monthly expenses were underestimated by 20%. He was overspending. And because he was guessing, not knowing, he was withdrawing too much. He still was not in retirement yet. And what would have happened would be that he would have to really pull back on his discretionary lifestyle. He'd have to really cut back on his spending, reduce his charitable giving, and it ended up that he postponed his retirement by about 18 months because he didn't have the now money, later money, and never money framework. Now, Ann is a client of ours, and she did the work. We figured out what her 6-month number must-haves are, and that means like groceries, clothing, utilities, liability payments. And we separated that amount of money into fixed and variable accounts. One was the money, boring old money market, cash in her checking account and savings. And we use this information to build those 3 buckets, the now money, later money, never money strategy. She had about 18 months of money, her everyday expenses, as well as separate accounts. And that way she and her husband, they were contributing about 3 years before she really retired into those buckets. They wanted to go on a trip as soon as she retired, which was late last year, to Italy. And they socked away about 800 bucks a month into that 18-month uh-oh money or now money bucket. And yep, it just sat in money market. And it earned well, 3 years ago, it wasn't earning anything. But if you guys paid attention, money markets have started to pay a little bit. So it was able to keep up with what they needed long term for that 18-month period. So when the market did dip, she didn't touch it. She didn't need to worry about digging into her IRA. She didn't need to take that money because we had set aside enough money for her to spend every day, but also didn't change her core lifestyle. And because she didn't panic, she didn't delay her plans. She and Mark did go to the 2-week vacation to Italy, like in February when the markets were having a heart attack, because she didn't her. So I guess the way to put it is because her bottom line didn't change. Even though, sorry, I'm saying this wrong. Her bottom line didn't change even when the market did because she had a plan. Speak, Kelly, speak. So here is a better way defining budget. So it isn't a 4-letter word. It's not about restriction, it's about direction. And actually, a budget will allow you to spend money. We've got a client who he's had this truck for so long, the thing is almost falling apart. And I literally had to say, you are allowed to buy a truck. You have so much money sitting in a money market, and that money was set aside 3.5 years ago to buy this truck. He just didn't want to part with it, but that's what the money was for. So when you build a plan around your life, your lifestyle, your timing, your values, it helps you take the fear out of spending and also the fear out of bumpy markets. And I will tell you, we're always going to have good markets. We're always going to have bad markets. A bad market typically lasts between 4 to 18 months. And when I say 18 months, I'm talking about 07 to 09. Those are the ones we remember. But if you have this planning together, it will help you weather that storm. Okay, Becky, if you could launch the next poll, that'd be great.
Okay, the poll's launched.
Thank you. Great. That's great. Awesome. Thank you very, very much. So the question I hear a lot from people who have been working for a long, long time and then they retire, they've had a paycheck forever. So that where my income will come from in retirement is probably the number one question we get for people who are just about to retire or just retired. And so this framework will definitely work for you. So remember the stat I shared earlier that 26% of people change their top financial goals after reflecting with structure? That's not just interesting, it's a reminder of what happens when you slow down and really look at what matters. That's why the first section of our workbook we're going to share with you is about reflection. This is where your clarity is going to begin. It's not just about numbers. It's not just about spreadsheets, but purposefully thinking about where you want to spend your money. So when you get this workbook, when the session is done, you're going to get an email with the handouts we're going to share with you. So if you spend time with it, it'll help you kind of compartmentalize things, and that will help you align your money with your values. We did hear a lot about Jamie and how he underestimated his expenses, which created a real challenge if he were to retire. So that's where this process is going. So healthcare and retirement, things that change in your family's life, inflation, cash flow plans should be flexible and adapt alongside you. That's what we hope this workbook will help you with. So it begins with sorting expenses and income. So going back to the question, where's my income going to come from in retirement? There are a couple complications. I shouldn't say complication. There are a couple things that are important to understand. First, what kind of accounts you have. You might have accounts that have all pre-tax dollars, and it's surprising. Some people don't realize that their 401ks or 403bs or IRAs, those dollars, when they come out of those accounts, they are taxed. So we tend to look at what your income needs to be. Social Security is part of it. And if you have a non-IRA or non-401k, and we take from that, that will help reduce your taxes. So understanding what your income needs to be helps us figure out where to take money from. You're going to get a couple handouts with our booklet that will start the juices flowing. The master list of goals. This goes back to the study we talked about, the behavioral sciences part on, what's important to you. What do you want to do in retirement? So I think that should help you. Then I've got this really cool checklist on things you've got to think about when you're starting to do a budget. So you won't see any spreadsheets here yet. It's sort of just making you start to think. So these tools pair beautifully with the workbook and will help you go deeper, especially if you want to take your planning one step further. Then if you really want to dig in, here's a spreadsheet. We love this spreadsheet. We use this with our clients to help break down your expenses in bite-sized chunks to figure out what that uh-oh bucket, that now money bucket needs to be. So this spreadsheet is not included in the handouts, but even though some of you are not clients, if you want this, I'll definitely send it to you. So here are some common questions that I hear frequently. What if my expenses don't fit neatly into a bucket? That's okay. The buckets are meant to help you create a structure, not box you in, okay? What if I have more later money than now money? Well, then it's time to adjust. We help clients rebalance and realign so they feel secure in their lifetime spending. So what does that mean? Let's say you only have an IRA or a 401k. Your now money might stay inside of your IRA or your 401k, but we set it aside in a money market part of that investment structure. So you've got a portion of your, sorry guys, I have a hiccups. Of course I do. You have a portion of your investments in your IRA or 401k set aside so you can rely on it when you need distributions. Okay. Is this something I can do alone? Of course it is. You can start this today. These tools were meant for anybody, whether you're a client or not. But if you need help, we'd love to help you. Okay, here's our last polling question. That's great. Thank you guys very much. So for the person who said about the same, there's oh, and good, there's a little bit more confident. Yay, thank you. You're going to get a survey at the end of this call, of this session. And I really thrive on feedback. This is the first time we've ever done a budget workshop. And I frankly don't know what it feels like to be a client anymore. I've been doing this for now 21 years. So I would love to know how we might be able to help you feel from about the same to a little bit more confident. And the still overwhelmed, but I know where to start feeds my soul. Thank you. For those of you that are not clients, I am so happy to help, even if you never work with us. My intent with this conversation was to at least start people on a path. So please, feedback would be terrific. And thank you very much for 100% participation on all these questions. Okay, so are there any questions? We have time for Q&A. If you, like, maybe if you're thinking, gosh, I feel about the same, or where do I start? Is there any questions at all? Not to put you on the spot, by the way. And I would love perspective. And if you feel like the survey would be better, there is a space where there's an open-ended space, so you can just give me some feedback. That'd be great. Okay, so if you are ready to create a plan that reflects your life and gives you, real clarity, here's what to do next. When the session's over, you're going to get an email. It's going to have our big picture planning workbook in it. Review your accounts. Try to fill in just one section at a time. If you want to go deeper, these two companion checklists are terrific. Again, one will walk you through cash flow details and spending blind spots. The other one is a values-based reflection list to kind of help you identify your most important financial goals. And remember, there are no wrong answers. Everybody's ride's different. If you're a current client, let's meet with this workbook. We'll work through it together. If you're not, I'll do the same thing with you. I don't mind spending time and helping people. And with that, in review, budgeting is about cutting back. It's about just seeing things clearly. And when you have that kind of clarity, your money becomes a tool for building your life you want. This is what we covered today. So here are some things that would give you maybe what success would look like. You don't need to finish everything at once. This is simply one little step at a time will get you farther. And those little steps lead to clarity. So thank you very, very much. I'm grateful for you. I hope this was helpful. Have a great weekend. Hopefully it won't rain all weekend again.
True.
Bye, everybody.